Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? I go by the name of Apendule Pagade, and there is another day, another freaking dawn, man. Yo, so I've been thinking about this topic and whether I should do it or not. But I gotta do it. I have to do it. I put this on myself, so I'm gonna have to talk about it. Unfortunately. Okay, not really unfortunately. I mean, it's a good thing, but it's quite a tough subject. I'm gonna be talking today about relationships. Relationships. I've actually been led to talk about this topic, okay, because yesterday I got into conflict with my girlfriend. These things, you never see them coming. They come at random times. Like, everybody who's in a relationship or who's married will know that you don't see this coming, bro. I don't care who you are. I don't care how psychic you are. You ain't gonna see no conflict coming. Sometimes you can, and you can try to prevent it, and then somehow it just comes back full force. So I had a conflict yesterday, and we kind of didn't sleep on good terms. I don't advise that. I don't think it's a good idea, but wouldn't sleep on good terms. So, man, it's still a little offish, but we'll sort it out. We'll always do. And that's one of the points that I want to come to is that it's important if you're in a relationship to sort things out. Okay. Sort it out because every relationship you get into is going to have their own set of conflicts. You can't run away from it. As long as we are human beings, we are complex. We have different layers to our soul. You're not going to completely get along with somebody. There's always going to be that little inch or something, And when you guys are in a relationship, you guys find a lot of those inches of something. A lot more than you think. So even within yourself, you need to really look at yourself sometimes. Like, you get to know who you are, man. Like, whoa, I could do that. Like, that was inside of me. That thing can come out of me. Like, I never knew that I had a potential to even do that. So relationships can take out the best of you. They can also take out the worst of you. And, that's the price you gotta pay. I mean, everything in this life got a price. I'm sorry to lay it down for y'all, but it's the truth. So, first thing, what is a relationship? Let's just get into the basics. Let's get into, the gist of it. I feel like I can talk about this because I've been in one for the past almost 5 years now. I know, for our generation, it seems to be the most odd thing ever. Like, everyone is just like, wait, what? How did you do that? Come on, guys. Let's reevaluate the fact that we have parents. Okay, we came from somewhere, so how did that work out? A relationship, I feel, is two people come together. Human beings come together. Can be a relationship with anything, well, co-worker. It can be family, friends, girlfriend, wife, child, mother, father, all of the jazz. So you build relationships with people, whether you like it or not, you're in relationships. When we think relationship, we're always thinking about dating. We're always thinking about love and romance and this one person, let's live happily ever after together. Relationship is a lot of dynamics. There's many different types of it. Your relationship with your creator, your relationship with yourself. There's relationships with all of these, and all of them have their own layers. They all have their own conflicts, and they all have their own unique taste to them. Your mother's relationship won't be the same as your best friend, and your best friend's relationship won't be the same as your girlfriend. Though she may be your best friend, but there is something else above that, There's lines you cannot cross, there's certain boundaries, other type of relationship, you have a relationship with your friends, you have more leeway, you can say a lot of things that the person won't be offended by, and you also won't be offended by when they say it to you. But if you say those things to your girlfriend, well, it's a different story. If you say those things to your mama, well, it's a different story. So that's just the gist of it, guys. Relationships are different for different types of the for the different types. They all come in types. They all have their categories. So I think today I want to kind of shift my focus towards the relationship with between your partner, between your girlfriend or boyfriend. I think it's a very wide subject, and I think we kind of covered a relationship as a whole. And maybe we'll start speaking about other types of relationships as the channel goes along. But for now, I think let me focus on this because what I was led by to even make this video was because of the relationship with my girl. So that's why I want to kind of delve into this. Our generation, it's rough out here. Apparently, people say that relationships today don't work out. There's a lot of gray areas. There's a lot of things that don't work out. It's not working out for our generation, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, my light just went off. At least we have room lights, so I think we can carry on. So things are not working out for our generation, and I think most of what it has to do with is us being afraid of commitment. Because we're living in a generation where there is so much temptation, there's so much marketing of other people, other girls, other boys, Mostly for the guys, we are marketed with this mass production of females half dressed, music videos, television. From the time we were young, we were introduced to pornography. So I'm just saying, I don't know if I was supposed to see that at that age, but I saw that at that age, waking up at 12 o'clock at night, trying to scope ETV, put down the volume on zero, and use your imagination. So just those little things, I think we forget or we don't realize that those things play a big role in our psychology. And I think all of these things have something to do with why relationships are not going accordingly in today's age and in our generation. Because of our upbringing was way different from our parents' upbringing. If you really think about it, our parents, when they were that young, they were raised in they didn't have things like the internet. They didn't have, probably didn't have, most of them have television. I know you guys see things in the States like, oh, television started way back in the 19 whatevers. But if we were in South Africa, if you really think about it, we didn't really have television. Most of the things were based on culture most of the time, based on the church or culture or tradition or whatever. And you get things like lobola that were prevalent then, and now I think it's kind of, dying out a bit because of just how things have changed, man. Most of the reason why even people don't get married at our age is because of things like that. Like, life is so expensive, like you can't even think about collecting money for lobola because there's just so many things that you have to deal with in this life. So many things you have to pay for to keep a certain type of standard. And then there's the pressures from the woman who, want some big proposals, and then also big weddings, and all of these stuff have expenses. So it gets us young men thinking like, yo, do I really want to go ahead with this ish like right now? And even not even think about it, like we feel like we can't at the moment. We're so focused on this future we're trying to build so that we can meet all these expectations that have been set by not only society, but even our families. So now we spend time just trying to work, and that also stresses us. Going back to the whole depression topic I was talking about, these are one of the things we also deal with as young men. I'm speaking for the young men, y'all. I don't really know much about what young women go through. I have a certain idea, but most of what I'm saying is from my perspective of things. And I know a lot of brothers can relate with me with that, And then you have this whole culture now of, like I said, there was a lot of things marketed to us. So there's a whole lot of cheating going on. Let's just be upfront about it. Let's be straight about it. There's a lot of people not in a relationship, and then those who are, there's a lot of cheating going on. because it's just this culture where you can literally hook up with somebody and the next day you guys can, okay, part ways. That's it. And by hook up, I even mean as far as going as getting into bed with this person, y'all laying it down, yo, you know? And you guys can act like you don't know each other the next day. And I'm not speaking this as they and me, but I also go through this stuff. Like, I'm speaking from experience here, you know? And I'm just saying this, trying to be real with y'all on this channel, because we need to speak about this stuff, because there's stuff that's happening at our day and age in our society, in our generation. And I feel like it's one of the things that are bothering us as well, bothering most of the women out there. And I feel like a lot of women also want to understand from a guy's point of view as to why guys do the things they do. I feel like all of us have gone through heartbreaks and disappointments. And I don't want to be so too one-sided to this, because I know some guys who've also gone through women cheating on them as well. You know, they've given their life and their heart to this person, and this person, you know, disappoints them. And now, because they hurt other people. You know, the saying that says hurt people hurt people. So I think there's just this whole culture going on of people who are hurt and who are just now living out of that hurt and be like, you know what? It doesn't really even matter anymore. I don't even care. There's this whole I don't give a F attitude that's going around. And it's I see it as a coping mechanism, you know. It's a coping mechanism. It's like, yo, I feel so hurt that if I don't care, I'll feel less hurt. And I've gone through that a lot of the times as well, whereby my actions would be based on me being hurt. So I'll be careless with myself and say that I really just don't give anymore. I don't care. Like, I don't want to put my feelings into something, you know. And I think that's what makes us mostly scared as well, because there has been times where I'd wanted to run away from my relationship a lot of the time. Like, my girl would tell you, man, there's been times where I was literally about to cut it off. And I'm not just saying once or twice or three times. There's been multiple times through all these years. But thanks to her, man, she's a very strong woman, and she's dedicated, and she's willing to work things out. And maybe afterwards I'd realize that, okay, maybe what I was thinking was dumb. You know, we're doing this thing and we're going for the long run. So for me, man, I think it's also a personality thing, because I'm a very committed guy. Like, when I start something, I want to finish it, you know. I want to dedicate my life to it in a way, because I feel if I half-ass something, then I don't deserve anything good. If I do dedicate myself to something, then I can get good things in life, because everything that you gain is you giving time to it. What you get out of life is how much time you've given into it. So if you just do things a little bit and you let it go, you're never going to get something stable or something that's long lasting, because you're the type of person who just gets in a little bit and dips out. But if you go all in, you need to also deal with all the frustrations, you know, all the hard work, the dedication, you know, the doubts, the fears, and all of that ish that comes with it. And you need to just thread through it in order for you to get something good out of life, you know, keep things. So the people who are usually successful, what I've seen is people who are so dedicated despite disappointment, despite pain, despite the trials. They're willing to, you know, conquer. They're willing to go through. They're willing to continue and persevere. Perseverance, commitment. That's what gets you success. It's not about how talented you are, how good looking you are, or how great you smell. You know, it's about your perseverance. You need to constantly show yourself out there. And, you know, that's something that's also tough for us in our generation, because there's so many things presented to us and we get lost in our identity and finding ourselves and finding our foot. That's some of the things that I was mentioning in the other video. Just finding what it is that you want to commit to. I think that's what most of our problem is just finding that thing or finding that person that we want to give our life to. But I think it's so hard for people to do that because they put themselves at a risk because of this whole culture that's going on. It's hard for you to really give yourself to somebody when you are going to be disappointed most of the time. So you're constantly in the search for somebody who you can put that whole commitment to. I think that's where the search is. But in the meantime, you need to satisfy your needs. So now you are just that person who's around, but you're trying to look for that thing. And that's also the conflict, because it's also hard to find that thing when you're in this whole, arena, in satisfying your needs. And also with the cheating, man, it comes a lot from you feeling unsatisfied about something, and you need to identify that and communicate that with your partner. I had to learn that the hard way, man, because communication is key, as much as sometimes things may hurt. And we feel like we don't want to say anything because it's going to hurt the person, it's going to hurt her, or, you don't want to offend, you don't want to kill the mood, you don't want to kill the vibe, you guys are going good. But you need to address your struggles, because then your struggles will turn to actions, and actions will turn to results, you know. And you don't want to get to a point where you're down a rabbit hole now, and it's been so consistent that it's become an addiction of some sort, because you can't get addicted to these things. I think I speak for a lot of guys when I say this. So really make sure that if your partner is down for you, you guys are down for each other, make sure that you guys talk about it and try to figure it out together. See what you need and what the other person needs, and try to give that edge to each other, because relationship is also all about sacrifice. You need to be able to sacrifice some of the things that you may like and not like for the other person, so that you guys can live in peace. It's kind of like an agreement of some sort, you know. I don't want to be too legalistic about it, but it's just the way it is. Like, to be in connection with somebody, like I said, with different relationships, there's some boundaries you can cross and some boundaries you cannot cross. So there has to be that whole agreement of being like, yo, I don't F's with this, and you F's with this, but you need to make the decision whether you want to keep harming that person, or you want to sacrifice yourself not to harm that person, or do you want to leave it all together? But if you leave it all together, you'll just kill something good that could have been, best for your future or whatever. So being an adult, man, you just need to make all these hard decisions the whole time. And I won't lie to you, it can get stressful. It can really get stressful, but you need to really put your head together sometimes, and try work it out and grow from it, because that's where growth lies. Growth lies in pain. And every time you guys fight, every time you guys are in conflict, you guys grow closer. Your bond grows stronger, because you're learning more about the other person. You're discovering newer things. You guys are literally becoming one every day. So they'll know what takes you off. You know what takes them off. And you even know what takes you off. Because sometimes we think we know who we are until you're faced with conflict. And you're literally like, oh, this is how I react in these situations. Okay, I need to calm it down. Okay, I need to try this out instead. Because then you never knew that, for example, you can have outbursts. You thought you were a calm guy, you thought, I don't shout, I don't do all of that. I speak calmly to everybody. Till certain situations really test you out, and you find yourself shouting, and you frighten yourself. You're like, damn, did I just do that? So I think it's very important to know yourself in the relationship, and that's why I said it takes out the best and the worst in you, and from there you also learn to be a better person. It depends what you do with the energy, man. Like I said in the conscious video, like, it's all about how you navigate that energy, man. When you get something, how do you deal with it? So yeah, man. I wanna have guests here. I'm gonna probably have my girl on this topic, because she was telling me yesterday that she wants to speak on certain things as well. I was telling her I'm planning on making a relationship topic, and we're gonna feature her to speak on it. I also have somebody I wanted to feature on the whole depression video, so be in tune for that. So yeah, man, we'll sit down and talk about it. Also get her perspective and get where females are coming from with all of this. I didn't really delve deep into what we internally feel as guys and why we do the things we do. I haven't really delved deep into it, and I think I want to do that in that conversation. Right now, I was just kind of like introducing the topic and just speaking about it and touching on certain subjects. But I think when we get to the conversation, we can really delve deeper into what we feel and what we go through. I was told this idea that I had. I don't know if I want to say it because y'all gonna steal my idea, y'all. But it has something to do with this topic, and we just want to find out, man, why we do the things we do, guys. And I think, like, what this channel's doing is we need to talk about these things and communicate them, because that's how we solve the problems. That's how we even know there's a problem. Sometimes we don't even know there's a problem. We don't even know if something wrong with us or if you're treating somebody badly until that somebody tells you, like, yo, I don't like what you're doing. And sometimes it may F at you, like, I didn't do anything wrong though, like, but you need to acknowledge the fact that that person felt that way. So just discover why. Okay, cool. It's emotional intelligence, man. It needs a lot of emotional intelligence. I will tell you that. That's relationships. It's not always easy, but it's also beautiful, I'm speaking mostly on the negative stuff because that's where you guys would probably really want to talk about, because you want to solve problems. We're here to try solve problems. So I need to speak on all these problems. But I have to say to y'all, man, just in a nutshell, like, there's beauty out of the struggle. There's definitely beauty out of the struggle. I mean, the fact that you can grow old with somebody and the fact that you can bring another human being into the earth together and you can take care of that human being, the most beautiful things of life. And I want to experience that ish, I want to also experience that with somebody I trust and somebody I love and somebody I've built a life with. I don't want to just have this human being with just anybody, because that's also going to affect that human being. I want that child to be in a great environment. I want that child to be taken care of, by both parents. So that's just one of the things we need to think about. We need to look at the future because we're not getting any younger. Apparently women's eggs start deteriorating at 35. So we don't really have a lot of time. We're in our 20s and some of y'all are probably in your 30s. Like, there's so much going on in our generation, man, and we need to just try to figure out these problems. And this is definitely one of them. I mean, you heard about the whole problems with Abo Mampincha and Babes Will Do More and stuff, That's just one of the causes, guys. Like, one thing I'll always advise is don't get too invested in other people's relationships. I mean, I know some things are wrong. A lot of things are wrong. Let's not focus on one thing as wrong. Mention all the other stuff. But nobody wants to talk about everything that happens in their relationship. So just respect that and respect people's relationships and understand that you don't know what the heck is going on. You don't know the full story. You don't know the full truth. Only the two people involved are the ones who know the full truth. Unless that person really is seeking out help, then that's another topic on its own, But just in general, if you find that you want to put yourself in it, don't. Unless that person comes to you first. But yeah, man, let's talk about it, guys. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me about your relationship stories. I would love to hear it. It's tough, man. It's tough. Peace and love, y'all.
Stick up. Chisa in my leg. It was side, boogie.